Down Deep by Matthew Spence. Toby found the body by accident while fixing a flat. It was in a ditch off the side of the road, covered loosely in leaves and dirt. Toby was startled, but cautiously looked the body over without touching it, something he'd learned from TV. He didn't know a lot about forensics, but it didn't look like it had been there for very long. There were no marks or bruises on it that he could see. It might have been an accident, although the way the body was hidden suggested something far more sinister. So maybe he should just fix his tire and leave in case whoever did it came back. In the end, however, he called the police. Then he called his older brother Josh, who had been waiting for him at home at their old man's place. Josh was closer and showed up first and was the one to talk to the state troopers. Toby obediently waited while the body was removed from the scene and the police got a tow truck to take his pickup home. He rode with Josh, as he was understandably still somewhat shook from seeing the body. The cabin was at the end of an old logging road. Dad went to live there after Mom died. There were only kids when it happened, and he sent them to live with their aunt and uncle. The old man had kept to himself afterwards, but he seemed glad enough for their company when they came to visit and later to stay with him when he got too sick to work. Toby and Josh didn't talk much when they got home. They just ate dinner, and then Toby went to his room while Josh watched college football on TV, the way Dad used to. Later that night, they finally began to share their thoughts. "You don't have anything to worry about," Josh said. "It's not like you killed the poor guy. Like the state troopers told me, they know who he is, and it shouldn't be too hard to find out what happened. It's a small county after all. It probably was some kind of accident." "I know, but I can't help thinking about how he was buried, like it was done in a hurry. If it was an accident, then why not just leave the body out in the open and wait for the police? Even if it was a hit and run, why go to the trouble instead of just leaving?" Toby paused, glancing at the antler trophy on the wall and the bear skin rug at his feet, things that belonged to Dad and that they still couldn't bring themselves to get rid of after his death. "Remember what Dad said once when we were younger and he took us hunting? If you bury something, bury it down deep, otherwise it'll find a way to come back." "Dad was only worried about wild animals," Josh reminded him. "But listen, this guy was definitely DOA. You got nothing to worry about." But even as he said it, they both heard a rasping knock on the front door, like someone or something scraping against it. At first, Josh was nonchalant. "Probably just a raccoon," he said. When he went to check the living room windows, however, his expression changed. "What is it?" Toby asked in a whisper. Josh turned to look at him. He said, "Looks like Dad was right after all." He too was whispering. Then they both stood back and watched as the door slowly opened.